this course, we're going to be covering how to design a personal blog from start to finish. So we'll be starting from scratch in Affinity Designer, creating something that looks like this. So the general idea is that the blog will feature articles that are published by an individual, and it's a place where you can go to find more about that person, maybe read more about their ideas and thoughts on things, all that combined. Basically a traditional blog, but with a creative touch. So it's got navigation that's probably unorthodox in most cases. There's typical article navigation, stuff they're reading about, their about them page, and a contact form. So I took this whole course as an opportunity to dive into Affinity Designer and build something real. Like the concept behind a lot of tutorials is just showing off a feature. I'm more interested in showing off the workflow plus the features plus an actual real world topic. So if you're a person who wants to design their own blog, maybe you know how to code or know someone who codes, you can take this opportunity to do something like this. So bundled with this course is the assets, of course. So if you're a pro subscriber or lifetime subscriber, you have access to this stuff, and you'll actually need access to it to do a few things to get started with. I exported an assets palette, color palette, as well as an assets library. And with that, we'll make use of our initial setup, which is going to be a design system to kind of give a look and feel for the actual blog itself. So this is where I like to start in a typical course, designing for a project where you can kind of get a sense of the things that are going to be repeated throughout and design around that and have that in your arsenal ready to go. With that in mind, I could show you I have text styles already set up as well as assets too. So these come in handy as we're going through the whole process, and actually I'll need to import our assets, which I exported earlier. So if we go to our desktop, personal blog, this one here, personal blog assets, will import an entire category here, which will take a second. There we go. So now we have all this stuff that we can use and just drag in as needed, which is great, as well as all those icons you see right here. In the next part, we'll initially set up our document and get rolling with the creation of this. To save time, I'll make use of my pre-existing assets and text styles, and I'll show you how to make use of those in a fresh document so you won't get confused going forward. So after the design system, we'll move on to a wireframe just to kind of give the general layout some love. This is important just for establishing where things will live, how the user experience will flow, and ultimately we're ignoring the aesthetic qualities here, but focusing on what should exist on a given page and so forth. So I did a basic mock-up of the wireframe for the index page, the home page, and then an actual article page as well. What you do with the wireframe might differ from what the end result will be, but at least we'll give you a basis of how we can get started and move along as we go. So the next part, we'll kick things off and get our files set up. So I'll see you in the next one.